our first day of shooting, we picked the most difficult set ever. Smoke, mirrors in every direction. Love it. Welcome to Twilight.
You're listening to Another Bite of Twilight, a podcast where we look back on our obsession with the Twilight Saga and continue to freak out 10 years later.
Welcome, guys,
to Another Bite of Twilight.
Yes, this is our passion project that we started almost 2 years ago.
Raison d'être.
Wait, no, we started this in October of 2018.
Well, that's crazy.
I don't know when our...
How's that possible?
Oh my god, that's crazy. Wait, when is our anniversary? I have no idea. It might already have passed.
I don't know where this number is coming from. Nah.
I'm thinking October 19th for some reason.
I was thinking that too. But I don't know if it's because it was 2018. I was going to say the 18th.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess we could look it up if we wanted to. Do I have my phone on me? No, I don't.
let me look at our Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyone that's listening, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
We're Kel and Mel. I'm Kel.
I'm Mel. And
Cousins.
Yeah, we're two cousins and we're roommates.
And if you haven't yet, you should scroll to the beginning of our Instagram like I am right now.
There's been a lot of posts on our Instagram.
How would you compare? The Instagram really is a companion to the podcast, you know? Mel,
yeah.
I post occasionally, but really it's Mel's work. Well, tell me, Mel, about the journey, like the different phases we've been through, you know what I mean?
We have been through a lot of different phases.
I think we've never talked about this.
I know. I think first on the Instagram, I think first it was mostly 50-50 between you and I posting, and we posted way less often.
Yeah, we
only
did.
like a handful of times a week, and we tried to just make sure everything had a blue tint.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I really upped the game during our new moon episode. I tried to have everything be a little bit more cohesive, and then I would make like 3 posts at a time.
Yeah.
And
oh, it looks so good. I'm looking at it.
during the new moon time, it looked really good. Since then, I've been a little bit less dedicated to it, but now I feel like I think of the Instagram more as just like a community. So it's less about the aesthetic. I mean, I still care that it looks pretty, but I just really like to hear what people are talking about more than anything.
You've done such creative stuff. I love the posts with the book quotes on it. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
So awesome. I think you're still putting in a lot of work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess the reason I don't really do it much is because... I don't know, I do the episodes, and when we started doing the mini episodes, it was just a lot.
Kelly does so much work on editing it, so I put in way less effort in this podcast.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is true.
No!
It is true, but
I just stabbed you.
I've also been lazy.
It's not true!
It's somewhat true, but I've also been
not true.
I've been lazy with the Instagram lately just because for my own mental health, I feel like I can't go on social media.
I was actually going to post tonight.
Oh, really?
Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Okay, I can be kind of a perfectionist about social media, and I end up just never posting because I overthink it. I'm like, what should the caption be? Oh, like I'll do the picture, and I'm like, I'm not really happy with it, and I'll do it again. And like, I don't know, I really overthink it, so then I end up never posting. Like, I have so many pictures in my camera roll that were meant to go on the Twilight page, and I just never did it.
See, I think there's value in that, though, because I don't think about anything beforehand, and so I'm sure, as you guys know, I'll put out, like, a very sloppy post with, like, 1 million typos in it, because I just, like, I also don't consider the fact that people are going to see it, which I think is a little bit healthy. Especially with our podcast, we say all the time that, like, when we record this, we don't really consider the fact that people can listen. And when we do think about the people who are listening, we think it's, like, the same, like, 10 people who we always talk to.
10, okay.
You said 4.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta say, our first post ever was October 9th. That's tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That's tomorrow.
Was that our first episode, though?
Probably. It said, welcome to, this is funny, welcome to our Twilight podcast, capital letters, find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube to join us. Oh yeah, we used to do, I don't think we advertised it, but I used to put it on SoundCloud too.
Oh, yeah.
But then I stopped.
Yeah, because you have to pay for SoundCloud.
Yeah. I think it was already up then, because I don't think we would have... What the? Someone commented on our first post and said, psh.
What?
83 weeks ago.
Oh my god.
Gina Carmen? What does that mean?
Yeah, we have had more haters recently, actually.
No way.
No, not more. Like
Haters?
Well, there were some haters after the Twilight account shared.
Oh.
They
how many?
talked about it. Only a few.
Wait, 2?
Yeah, it was 2.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Our second picture, sorry, this is so conceited, but it's really cool.
What is
It
it?
looks... Well, I don't want to turn my laptop around or anything because it'll probably make a sound, but it's Belle and Edward, and it just looks very indie, very hip looking.
Well, happy birthday to us.
Yay! Wow, 2 years. That's crazy. It doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't.
2? I'd say 1.
Yeah. I would say 1 as well.
2.
It's crazy because we started this right after I graduated college too, so it's just weird to be. It's 2 years into the post-grad world. So much has happened. So much hasn't happened.
On one of our early posts, someone commented, "Why is this in my feed? Pukey face, crying face."
Yeah.
And then we responded, "Rude." And then they said, "Sorry if I offended you. I just really dislike Twilight."
Okay.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's kind of nice that they felt bad about it.
Our first posts are just us commenting on it. That took a little while to kick off.
It did.
That's okay.
For sure.
Oh my gosh, one of our pictures is just, I feel like we would never do this now, but maybe we should. It's just a picture of a mossy tree on some leaves that we saw in Reading, I think. Yeah, found a moss-covered log. Copyright of Twilight Saga. Oh, that's cute.
That is cute.
We're just literally reading our own Instagram. Oh,
We love moss.
we do. All the moss.
All the moss.
Oh yeah, I loved this picture of Carlisle punching.
Oh my god, that was a really good one.
I think he's just showing his ring off, but it looks like he's punching the camera. I love it.
Carlisle.
Okay, guys, we are back to continue discussing Midnight Sun. And Mel, it's interesting. You and I still haven't talked about the end of the book.
We haven't.
Isn't that weird?
It's so weird.
Because we've said, oh, wait for the show.
And guys, we live together, so that takes a lot of us just holding back.
I feel like it was a lot of holding it in, and then just kind
And
of...
then forgetting about it. Yeah. I almost feel like I need to reread the end because...
Yeah, maybe I should.
Taking us a while to talk through on the podcast.
I know, but I hope you guys enjoy this.
Yeah. So our last episode, we left off at chapter 19. We don't think we covered it on the show.
I don't think so.
The episode title may mislead.
It's 2:19.
2:19, yeah. So we still have to cover
the episode title. You can very easily go in and change the title and the description.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. That stuff always confuses me.
It is confusing. Kind of like how when people talk about, oh, we'll move the meeting forward. It's like, what is that?
Oh, yeah. Does that mean earlier or later?
I know.
I think forward. I think later. That's my first instinct.
Yeah. I don't even know what I think anymore.
Forward. Yeah, that's confusing language. People should avoid that.
Confusing language. Yeah, I don't think we did 19. Hopefully we didn't because we're repeating ourselves.
Yeah. So chapter 19 is called Home.
Oh, that's why you were singing the Edward Sharpe song.
Yeah.
Oh, cute. So, if you guys remember, Edward's watching Bella sleep again. And
they're cuddled up.
I thought I don't know why this phrasing was weird to me. He said, I'd moved to the floor beside her bed when she'd begun her nightly gyrations.
What page is
What does
that
that
on?
mean?
Gyrations.
418. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. 418. The paragraph starts with, I gazed at her now, deep in her dreams.
Huh, I don't know. Just like when she's in a deep sleep. Well, because he's sneaking away
so.
at this point. Because I remember felt kind of anxious because he says, like, I'll stay the night. I won't leave. And then he does sneak away. And she's like, she never even noticed I'm gone. But he doesn't know that. She could very well wake up in the middle of the night.
What if she did wake up?
I know. I feel like that would have been a huge breach in trust for her. Like, I don't know. I would feel like if my boyfriend said he wouldn't leave and then he did in the night, I would just think that I don't really know him as well as I thought I did. You know?
No. Yeah.
My boyfriend who I don't have. So he does.
I think that word is weird, though.
It is weird.
Like, gyrate, you know, when you think about what that means, I think of someone kind of like, I don't know, Elvis on stage. And I just Googled it, and it technically means a rapid movement in a circle or spiral. So why is she doing a nightly gyration in bed?
That makes it sound like she's like... You guys know what I'm thinking, right? It makes it sound like she's...
They know. They know. I leaned against the edge of the mattress, one hand outstretched, a lock of her hair wrapped around my finger. I sighed and untangled myself. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. But yeah, he goes home, as Mel's sad about, and talks to Rosalie.
Yes. And Rosalie is quite mean here. She says she thinks in her head to Edward, I can't look at her. When I look at her, I can't see her as a person. I just see a waist. Which
So
is
mean.
so bad. That's a horrible thing to think.
I know. What a mean person.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that to sound cruel. I just can't. I can't watch her do this.
It's your damage, Rosalie.
I know. And as we talked about in the last episode, it's just very hypocritical of Rosalie because even though, yes, Rosalie didn't necessarily have a choice, she did make that choice for Emmett. And she a human, and fell in love with Emmett before he was turned. So she does understand that gravitational pull that Edward now has towards Bella. And yet she doesn't have any empathy to put herself in his shoes.
She's a psycho.
She is. And she should just want what's best for Edward at the end of the day. Like, get over yourself.
I mean, I guess she's not a real person, but she's horrible.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah. There's just not much to mention to her in this book.
It's truly shocking. But I really, man, this part killed me. When Edward says to her, he starts saying, like, your life isn't what you wanted, but in the last 70 years or so, would you say you've had at least 5 years of pure happiness? And then in her head, she, like, thinks of happy memories with Emmett. And Edward smiles and says 10 years even. She wouldn't answer me. Let me have my 5 years, Rosalie. I know it can't last. Let me be happy while happiness is possible. Be part of that happiness. Be my sister. And if you can't love my choice the way I love yours, can you at least pretend to tolerate her? It's so sad. He's like, I know it can't last.
That is sad.
It's just so weird. I feel like all of us, when we read Twilight for the first time, I don't know, I thought it was going to last.
Yeah, me too.
And, well, it does.
Yeah.
But, like, in New Moon, I don't know, it really shocks, I think, the reader, you know, that he leaves. But in Twilight, it seems like he knows.
Yeah, I wish I could go back
Midnight Sun.
I wish I could go back and interview my younger self to know how much of a shock that probably was for me, because I don't know if I expected it or not.
I think I wrote about it in my diary.
Yeah. It really did feel like a heartbreak, didn't it?
It did.
Like,
yeah, I definitely wrote about it in my diary. I was like, I could go find it right now. It's literally in my room, but
I was mad.
So sad. I read New Moon in Ireland.
Ooh, magical.
Shout out Ireland.
Yeah. We have Irish relatives. Our grandmother's from Ireland. Shout out if you guys are from Northern Ireland. We are descendant from there. Mm-hmm. We're also descendant from Portugal, the Azores Islands.
Yep. But then technically we also have our dad's sides.
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad's side is just Irish as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my dad's side is like French Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out, guys, if you wanted to know our background.
If you wanted to.
Yep. So then he talks to Alice.
Wait, what is Edward and Bella? What are all of their backgrounds?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I just interrupted you.
Well, Bella's obviously Italian, but she has to be something else too. She's probably just English or something. Caucasian.
What's her mom's maiden name?
I don't think I know. Yeah.
Wait. No. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the guide.
It's probably in the guide. Yeah.
Don't add us. The guide's also right over there.
Yeah. I mean, Swan isn't a very Italian name.
I know.
So maybe
is
Charlie's
he Italian or is the mom?
The mom must be Italian.
Renee. I don't know why I said the mom.
Yeah. She must be Italian.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Is she even Italian? Is she even Italian though?
She's barely Italian.
I know her name is Bella, but I don't know if it's in the books. Is she?
I think it's assumed that she's Italian.
Her name's Bella. And do we know Edward's family's history?
I'm just gonna guess English as well.
Yeah, probably England.
Yeah, definitely a European country.
Yeah. I bet most of the Cullens are English.
Yeah.
Maybe Irish descent.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Boring.
Maybe Esme French?
Yeah, I could see it. Rosalie, I feel like she's probably like German or something.
Mm-hmm. We're talking like ancestors though. We know they're not actually from these places. But
Yeah, because we do have a lot of international listeners, so here in the United States, a lot of people often like refer to themselves as like what their ancestral background is, even though they're technically not. Yeah, but like there. If you're a European descent person here, you obviously your family didn't really come from America, you know. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Unless you're Native American. Yeah. So we just talked to Alice here, and they're still talking about Bella's future. Alice says something interesting. Or she thinks something interesting. She says, Edward says, I hesitated thinking of Alice's vision of a grieving Bella, her hollow cheeks, her body curled in on itself in agony. What if my presence and not my absence were the reason she felt that way? Imagined her full of Rosalie's bitterness. And I was wondering, I wonder if this vision that Alice has of Bella curled up in this way is actually a vision from what we see in New Moon.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's sad.
Whoa, I think that was the heater. I think the heat's come back on. I haven't heard that sound in forever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Whoa, it's fall again. Yeah, that was cool. Sad but cool part of the book.
And Rosalie down here on the same page, 421, she says, I'm not sure what I can do. Seeing everything I want out of my reach, it's too painful. And it's just kind of annoying how Rosalie can't accept other people's choices, because even though that's something that Rosalie wants, other people's choices have really nothing else to do with her. And I think that's really, like, if we're going to, because especially we've talked about before on Tumblr, a lot of people are like, well, others can't accept that Rosalie's a bad bitch. Like, she knows what she wants. And they really, like, empower Rosalie because of how assertive she is and abrasive. Yeah. But I think that's so, especially anti-women, to be hating on other women because they make a choice that's different from what you would have chosen.
What does Bella have to do with you?
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
She could have, like, never met Bella and her life wouldn't be any different. It's...
Yeah. And also, does that mean she hates every human? Because I don't really get it. She's like, seeing what I want. Yeah. What does Bella even have that you want?
Yeah, I mean, she has a life that Bella's giving up. that upsets her. But
wouldn't just any human woman that can have a child, isn't that what Rosalie's like really upset about?
yeah.
Why Bella specifically?
The thing is, whether Bella chooses to become a vampire or not will never change Rosalie's situation. She will
Exactly.
never become a human. She will always be a vampire. So Rosalie needs to learn to give that up because it's not within her control.
You know, life isn't fair. And sometimes things happen that are horrible. But just if you don't accept it, you're never gonna find peace.
I wish we could see Rosalie coming to terms with that a little bit more in this series.
Yeah, she never really does.
No, never.
It's only Renesmee. Would she have literally never been happy if that didn't happen?
I don't think so. It's just because Bella made a choice that she finally agreed with, but she didn't. Rosalie never grew to accept that sometimes people make choices that she doesn't agree with, and I think that's like what bothers me most of all.
Oh, Rosalie. So, yeah, then Edward, after all of these chats, goes back to Bella's house. And...
Oh, I did want to say one thing.
Oh, sorry.
That Alice, when Edward is talking to Alice, she keeps saying to Edward, when have you ever said no to Bella? Because they're talking about like all these possibilities of like if Bella's going to become a vampire someday, what's going to happen. And I keep getting a little bit annoyed by how Alice keeps repeating that because Edward has not known Bella long enough
I know.
for that question to really hold any weight. Like they've only just started dating.
I know. Yeah, she's being a bit aggressive. When has Bella ever said no to you?
No, when have you ever said no to Bella?
She says that too, though.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On 422.
I guess maybe because in her vision she can see more of their relationship, but...
Yeah, back off. She's a little... I like Alice a lot as a character, but I think a little more enjoyable in the other books.
Yeah.
She comes off a little bit know-it-all-ish, and...
In Midnight Sun, yeah. She comes on too strong, too.
Yeah.
Like...
I still don't get why she, like, barges in that time when Edward and Bella are in his room.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess that's coming up. But, like, what the hell?
So awkward.
Anyway, he comes back. Bella's like, you left?
Mm-hmm.
You were very deeply asleep. I didn't miss anything.
So Bella's like, Charlie? And then Edward says, Charlie? Edward says,
Charlie.
He left an hour ago after reattaching your battery cables. I might add, I have to admit, I was disappointed. Is that really all it would take to stop you if you were determined to go? She rocked indecisively from her toes to her heels, her eyes flicking from my face to the door and then back again. A few seconds passed while she seemed to struggle with some decision. You're not usually this confused in the morning, I said, though it wasn't actually something I would know. I never saw her until she had plenty of time to wake up, but I hoped that, as she usually did when I assumed something, she would contradict me and then explain whatever dilemma faced her, which I thought is kind of interesting because it's, I don't know, a little bit of a mind game that Edward is playing where he's saying something that he doesn't necessarily know to be true, but he's doing it just to like get an answer from her. Kind of smart and sneaky of him.
It's like a little flirty in a way. I
Yeah. Playing dumb.
Yeah, it's interesting. So self-aware.
So then Bella says, I love you for the first time on page 426. And
Whoa.
right before that, Edward says the heat of her breath saturated the cotton on my shirt. Oh my God.
Whoa.
And he says, of course,
picture that.
in response, you are my life now, which I would be kind of insulted, I think, if I told someone I loved them for the first time and they didn't say, I love you too.
No, but I was gonna say, I felt like it was creative of him to say that back.
Well, why is that?
Because it, like, means the same thing, but he's just saying it in a different way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's interesting.
It is interesting.
my
But what if
life
someone
now.
said that, like, you are my life now, in a sense, like, now
love
means
you.
this week or in this moment?
Wow, my life. I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty dramatic thing to say, so
Yeah.
I feel like
It is pretty.
It does mean that they love you. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like, wait, do you love me back? I love you. I love spending time with you.
Yeah. I feel like that's always something that happens in TV shows is someone says, I love you, and then the other person is like, thank you.
Yeah, it's always, oh my god, that's such a common thing in TV shows. Thank you.
And then they go to their friends like, you didn't say it?
I know. And probably on the show they actually do love him, but for some reason, like, I don't know why. I couldn't say it. But at the end of the episode,
they say I love you, yeah. Or they break up.
Yeah. Breakfast time. Yeah, she eats. It's kind of funny, this part. It's in Twilight too, though.
Yeah.
Edward's just so confused about...
The joke that Bella makes.
What did she say?
Well, this part in Twilight, it's breakfast time, and so then Bella grabs her neck and acts like he's about to suck her blood, and Edward just, like, doesn't get it and doesn't find it funny whatsoever. I thought this was cute. He said, as I moved with extra care, but I didn't move slowly. I hoped she would be as shocked as I'd been, though definitely not as frightened, as I folded her over my shoulder and darted from the room.
Cute.
So adorable.
Whoa. Oh, it's cute that he says you should introduce me as your boyfriend.
Yeah. Also in Twilight. My next
I
note
know.
is about what's in Twilight too.
I know it isn't. Oh my god.
Well, actually, no. This is not in Twilight. So, on page 432, Edward says, you know, he's again referencing back to how Bella, you know, was starting to like ask about sex and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he says, last night she'd asked me if I was attracted to her as a woman, though I felt it was so obvious as to be ridiculous. Maybe somehow she still didn't understand. Which I like that he says that's us, because even though we know Edward is a guy, we know that he's attracted to Bella, I still don't think, even in Bella's perspective that we're used to, it is that obvious.
It's not.
He's not really physical enough.
He's very composed.
Mm-hmm. So I like to get that awareness from Edward.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Oh my god, wait a minute. And then he says, to her, you're so absurd, I laughed, and then kissed her forehead, letting the feel of her skin against my lips wash like a wave of electricity down the length of my body. Does that mean he gets a boner?
The length of my body. Shall I explain how you are tempting me? Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, his legs.
We can read between the lines. And then the next page is really way more sexual than I think Twilight ever gets. Can we just read it?
Sure.
So let's switch off paragraphs maybe.
Okay.
This is starting on page 432.
Okay.
Slowly my fingers follow the length of her spine, discovering the curve at the small of her back, and resting atop the slope of her hip. Though I'd meant to tease her, I was soon lost in the moment as well. My lips brushed against the temple, and I heard my breath speeding to match her heart. Her fingers trembled against my chest.
Her fingers. I only had to incline my head, and then her lips, so soft and warm, were just a hair's breadth away from my own. Carefully, wary of the power of the alchemy, I touched my lips to her. While my body again overflowed with light and electricity, I waited for her reaction, ready to disengage if things got out of hand. She was more careful this time, holding herself nearly motionless. Even her trembling had stilled. Moving with what caution I could muster in the face of what I was feeling, I pressed my lips more firmly against hers, savoring their soft yield. I was not as much as in control of myself as I should have been. I let my lips fall open, wanting to feel her breath in my mouth. Oh my god. And then it ends with, just at that moment, her legs seemed to give out and she slid through my arms toward the floor. Doesn't that seem way more sexual than Twilight ever is? Yeah, it does. It does. Oh yeah, and then she faints. Oh yeah. Crazy. Embarrassing. Crazy. I've never fainted.
I only have once when I was a kid. And I fell into a pool.
That's scary. Well, then she gets dressed and stuff, and they go to the Carlisle's house.
The Carlisle's
the Collins house. Oops.
It is the Carlisle's house.
Technically, he's paying for it.
Yeah.
Alice does the stock market. Why is it that? It really weirds me out. Why is it that the rest of the Collins don't work?
They totally could if they wanted to. Maybe just to remain under the radar.
I guess.
I feel like if they networked too much, they'd maybe have too many people who know who they are.
Do something.
Yeah.
It's funny. This reminds me of The Sims again. My parents were just as where their thoughts had placed them in my mind's eye, and just as Alice had envisioned them. I don't know. It's just like when you go to your house on The Sims, all your Sims are just like standing there.
Yeah.
Like where you left them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They really are like Sims on cheats.
Yeah.
Esme's very sweet. She's like very kind towards Bella here. Mm-hmm. And she has such pure thoughts about Bella. She says if she's not totally hooked yet, then that should do it, when Edward's like playing piano and stuff.
Oh yeah. She's a sweetheart.
She is very kind. Very, very kind. And yeah, Edward plays for Bella, which we see in Twilight.
I feel like there's less description kind of their house, but that's, I guess that makes sense because
Edward lives there.
Yeah. Compared to Twilight, I mean.
I really liked this explanation on page 444, where Edward says about Carlisle, his best interpretation of our life systems was our internal workings must be microscopically porous, so we could swallow anything. Oh, so this is when he swallows her tear. Though we could swallow anything, our only blood was accepted by our bodies. That blood was absorbed into our muscles and provided fuel. When the fuel was depleted, our thirst intensified to encourage us to replenish our supply. Nothing besides blood seemed to move through us at all. And so then he says, I swallowed Bella's tear. Perhaps it would never leave my body. After she left me, after all the lonely years had passed, maybe I would always have this piece of her inside me.
Oh.
That is so cute.
Wow.
And so hot. Yeah, my friend Tess actually is reading Midnight Sun now, and she highlighted that. It was like, hot.
Hot. And she's crying because of the piano music.
That is beautiful. I don't know if I've ever truly cried from hearing such beautiful piano music. I feel like I will if I hear music that's like lyrically very, very sad or something. And very rarely will that happen to me.
Yeah. I know.
Instrumental, not really though.
It's so light. So open.
And then Edward shares, and this is in Twilight, about Carlisle's backstory. Mm-hmm. It's a very sad backstory about how Carlisle's father would hunt for witches and werewolves and vampires and persecute people.
Mm-hmm. And then Carlisle himself got turned. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. And what? Then it ends. They're gonna go in Carlisle's office, his room. This is always such a weird part of the story, I think. When they go to see Carlisle's office, and then Carlisle's like, I have to go.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird too. He like goes to see Carlisle for Carlisle to tell stories, and then Carlisle's like, actually, I'm being paged at the hospital. I have to go. You can tell the story. It's like, wait, why didn't Edward just do that to start? I guess I don't understand.
They could have just walked into Carlisle's empty office
and
look at the painting and stuff.
I guess it just shows how dedicated of a doctor Carlisle is. I don't know.
I guess it is realistic too.
What if there was a medical drama about Carlisle? Like, it's literally like... yeah, you probably wouldn't like it. Dramas. But wouldn't that be crazy? Like, I want to see Carlisle at work. I want to see him, like, at the water cooler talking with, like, the different doctors and stuff and, like, looking at someone's case. That would be cool,
I guess.
Yeah.
But like... then again, no.
Then again, no. Just interesting, like, he goes to work and, like, does
I feel like I'm sure he acts really pleasant and maybe a little humorous, but I feel like he keeps his distance and is just like professional. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I almost feel like it might not be as interesting as we think it is.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know. Not sure why I think that. But anyway, chapter 20 is called Carlisle.
Carlisle. So
The Carlisle house.
The Carlisle's house. So we're in Carlisle's office, and Carlisle has to go. So Edward starts telling the stories.
London in the 1650s. The London of my youth. I love that.
I read this chapter at the beach, and I didn't have a pen for most of it, so I don't have many notes, but my one note that I wrote down for this chapter is page 452. They talk about the word orgy is mentioned, which was crazy in the Twilight book.
I know. We mentioned that on a mini-sode one time.
Oh, did we?
We were talking about, well, Tori definitely have orgies, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I know, it's so weird. Stephanie definitely got more edgy.
Yeah.
Did she forget this is supposed to be for young adults? Like the Twilight books were sold at the book fair.
Reading
middle school.
Yeah, reading this in middle school, I don't think I would have known what an orgy meant.
I know. But seriously, they were at the book fair.
Yeah.
The 5th graders went to the book fair. I remember it being like a scandal that year because it sounds so prude and quaint, but like Breaking Dawn was at the book fair and everyone was like, oh, it's so inappropriate.
No, hardly.
But like,
yeah.
it's
For
not,
5th grader, I guess.
I guess, but they're married.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not even.
And we don't see it. Yeah.
It's in some ways it's so prude, but I guess for middle schoolers, yeah.
So this is talking about a painting. And I guess always in like that context, something like an orgy.
Thrashing figures seem to be involved in some kind of orgy. The other half in a violent, bloody combat. Yeah. So that's what she means, but it is interesting. Well, let me see what I maybe have for notes, if anything. Oh, I do. So Edward's just kind of going down memory lane in his head. He's not telling about any of this stuff. He's just like thinking. He's talking about his time by himself, I think. Yeah. September 1930. It had been a very bad year. You know, talking about the Great Depression and stuff. And then, you know, I love when they talk about different places. He said, I was passing through Milwaukee as I'd passed through Chicago, Philadelphia, Detroit, Columbus, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, Montreal, Toronto, city after city, and then returned over and over again, truly nomadic for the first time in my life. Very interesting. Lots of time in the Midwest. But I guess he's from there.
Yeah.
Montreal, cool. It's so interesting to think about Edward being in those places. Yeah, I never strayed farther south. I knew better than to hunt near the hotbed of newborn nightmare armies, nor farther east, as I was also avoiding Carlisle, less for self-preservation and more out of shame in that case. Oh, okay. What was Carlisle doing east? I don't know.
I never stayed more than a few days in any one place, never interacted with the humans. I wasn't hunting. After more than 4 years, it had been a simple thing to locate their minds. I sought, knew where I was likely to find them, and when they were usually active.
It's pretty isolating.
Yeah.
Not talking to anyone. Must have gone crazy.
So in the previous episode, we talked about how Carlisle has them attend funerals for the people they killed, but Edward only really killed people in these escapades when he left Carlisle, so he never really attended these people's funerals.
I don't think so.
So who's really having to do this? Is it Emmett and Jasper?
Probably.
Has Alice killed people too?
Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I want to know more about their slip-ups and like the specific people that they had to attend the funerals for.
I don't know. Oh, this was an interesting part. He's thinking about this pedophile, basically, that was, like, planning to go, you know... I couldn't believe this was in the book, actually. It was pretty dark to me. I don't know, like, molest a child and then kill her afterward. And he says the hardest part, 'cause he's like listening to this guy's thoughts, obviously. The hardest part, the part he struggled with, was that he knew he would have to kill her afterward. Ugh! This was distasteful, and he didn't like to consider the how of it. This qualm too was overcome. It took another week. So this guy that he's kind of stalking is thinking about it, and then
But he hasn't done anything yet.
he hasn't done anything
Yeah.
yet. But then when he decides to, I guess, Edward kills him, and the guy's like thankful about it, actually.
Very interesting. It is a weird dilemma, like kind of like playing God in a way of deciding whose life to take based on your moral judgment, which is true. I mean, the world is a better place without these people who Edward has killed, who are going to do so much harm, but still taking a life.
Yeah. But I know, it is weird. I think Edward doesn't feel good about it, but...
It's better than just killing a random innocent person.
Yeah. But then he concludes, like, that stubborn as I was, I could not avoid the truth. I was happier without human blood. It's interesting. So he decides to go back to Carlisle and everything. And then after all these thinkings and memories and everything, he's just, like, brought back to reality. And they go into Edward's room. And I underlined this part. Even as low as the volume was, the speakers hidden in the walls and ceilings made it sound like we were in a concert hall with performers. She smiled and wandered over to the closest shelf of CDs. Okay, I was just being a geek because for work I write about speakers a lot, and specifically in wall and in ceiling speakers. I write about all the time.
Interesting.
And how it can sound like there's live music in your house. And so, guys, the Collins, that's expensive. They must have some really nice speaker systems in their house.
Yeah, I bet they do.
It's expensive to put them in your walls and stuff. So, of course, Edward would have that, though. I mean, he's a music snob, I think.
Do you think the Collins, and I feel like I know the answer to this, but do you think when they have stuff like that done, like they're having surround sound installed into their house, do you think that they hire people to come in and do that for them? Or do you think that they just, like, figure it out and do it themselves?
I'm sure they can figure it out because their brains are so, you know, fast, and they don't have anything else to do, and it seems like they're really good at learning things, and so possibly they do it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, like I feel like they don't have a lot of people that they pay to do stuff for.
Yeah. I mean, I think they could afford it, but who would do it?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of like all the different tasks that you like hire people to do like for your house. Like I'm sure they don't have someone like mow their lawn and stuff. I'm sure they just do that themselves. They don't probably.
Which Colin do you think does these things, or do you think they all do it?
I feel like Emmett mows the lawn.
Yeah.
I think Esme, of course, does like the cleaning. I was gonna say plumbing, but they don't have to worry about the plumbing in the house.
Do they? Well, they have a shower.
Oh,
They
true.
do.
Yeah.
I could picture.
I wonder if they
probably
wash their
Emmett, but I
hands.
almost feel like I could see Alice for some reason doing the plumbing.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And
Installing the speakers.
I think Jasper cleans the pool.
With the skimmer.
Yeah.
Jasper.
Yeah, they do have to do the chores.
Yeah.
There is one, what do you think they do about ordering stuff online? Do you think that they have a P.O. box, or do you think they get packages delivered right to their house?
Maybe. I don't know. I know they're secretive, but I don't see what's so harmful about ordering things online.
It's interesting to think about.
Do they order things online?
Or even, like, does the postal worker come to the house?
They must.
Yeah, probably. But their house is so old, I guess they can predict when the postal worker will show up.
True. They'll smell him
Yeah.
a mile away. Oh, I liked this part. On 461, Jasper, you know, is getting really into being around Bella for... Wait, why? I can't even remember. Sorry, it's been a while. It's because of the emotions thing, but is it just because he hasn't spent a lot of time with a human like this? Okay, Jasper followed her into the room, unable to help himself. The emotions inside were nearly intoxicating to him. In this moment, I knew Bella's feelings were just the same as mine, for there was no counterbalance to the atmosphere of bliss that Jasper was getting high on now. Oh, okay, so he just likes feeling how happy Bella is? It's really interesting.
Yeah.
That, to me, I have nothing wrong with it. I think it's really cool, but it seems like Stephanie's like getting more creative with and expanding on Jasper's powers a little bit in this book.
Yeah.
It wasn't really apparent to me in the other books that Jasper
Feels other people's
would
emotions.
like even get that into them and seek them out, and it seemed, I don't know, I didn't know it was something he actually enjoyed.
I know what you mean.
You know? It's kind of cute though.
Yeah.
This is so cute. Good then, Jasper said. He found that he was excited by the idea of spending more time with Bella and me. His enthusiasm spread out from his body, infecting the rest of us. Bella's expression changed from cautious to eager.
That's cute.
Oh, he's turning around. Then he pokes her in the rib.
Jasper does?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, maybe it's Alice he pokes. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I
Yeah, she
can't
does.
imagine you poking Bella.
No, it's Alice. She says, let's go see if Carlisle will come. And then he says, like, you don't already know. But he's being really playful. It's earlier in the book, we're like, oh, he sucks.
Yeah.
So
we
chapter
take it back.
concludes. They're going to play baseball. The American pastime.
Yep. And so then the next chapter is when they play baseball. It's chapter 21, the game.
This is when shit gets real.
Yep.
Well,
It's when the
this is when
action
it happens.
revs up. So they're playing baseball.
Playing baseball?
I want to play basketball.
That's not how it went.
No.
That's an inside joke.
That's an inside
Sorry.
joke. I don't know if you guys would get it. Also, speaking of Caitlin, are you listening to us? Because
not.
we haven't heard confirmation from you.
She's not.
Yeah, Caitlin, what the fuck? Well, she hasn't read Breaking Dawn, so I mean Midnight Sun.
Yeah.
So why would she be listening?
Well, she used to just like to listen to our voices, she said.
Yeah, it was calming for her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so this chapter I read fully on the beach, so I don't have any written notes. But I have a lot of sticky notes.
Okay, so he's still at Bella's house, Edward, I mean, and Jacob and Billy show up. And, you know, Billy in his head is like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And I like how Edward says, just to mess with the old man, I pressed my lips to her throat rather than her lips. Oh!
Oh, I have, I flagged this section. See, I praised the humans on the porch one more time. Jacob Black was embarrassed, thinking caustic thoughts about his father for dragging him out to spy on Bella and her boyfriend. Billy Black was still suffused, yeah, with fear, expecting me to suddenly begin butchering everyone in sight. It was insulting.
I do feel bad for Jacob in this part. It's so embarrassing.
But little does Jacob know that Edward can even read Billy's thoughts.
Fish fry in a bag.
Homemade fish fry.
They don't actually say that, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. But Charlie's not there. And it's interesting. I really like that Stephanie put this in here. On 466, Jacob's thinking to himself, something's gone... I never know how to pronounce this word either. Rancid in here?
I don't know.
Rancid in here?
Rancid, I think.
Something's gone rancid in here, he thought, and I wondered if he was reacting to his father's gift in the paper bag. I'd smelled nothing amiss this morning. I think it's cool because I think that's Jacob starting to smell vampires.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
Acidic smell to him.
Yeah.
And I think later in the book, spoiler, I think at the dance, maybe I'm making this up, but I think Jacob thinks something similar, like, oh, smells bad, that's okay, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Yeah.
you're so right. I didn't even think about that.
His senses are tingling.
Yep.
It's starting. Yeah. So Bella, you know, Billy's being nosy, meddler, and
Yeah.
Bella doesn't like it and says it's none of his business. And oh my gosh, I always liked this part, but like because Billy wants to talk to Bella and asks Jacob to go look for a picture of his sister in the truck or in the car. And Jacob goes looking for it and can't find it. And he comes back and he says, "There's no picture anywhere in that car." And Billy's like, guess I left it at home. Great, his son retorted with heavy sarcasm. And then Jacob thinks, what was even the point of coming up? Old man is getting senile. I know, it does seem so weird. Like, they show up. We know that Billy just wanted to talk about Edward and warn Bella, but to Jacob, it's like, why the heck did my dad just drag me out to Forks? Charlie's not even here.
Yeah.
He asked me to go look for a picture in the car, and it's not there. Like, it's just weird.
I would have been so pissed if I was a teenager if my mom did something like that.
And, like, he has a crush on Bella.
Yeah.
It's just so embarrassing. Like, I would be... First of all, no one wants to be near their crush with their parent.
No. Oh my god.
You know?
When I was a teenager, I didn't even want anyone I know. It's so funny. I didn't want anyone I knew from school to even see me with my parents.
No, me neither.
I was
like, if I could never go to the movies.
No.
So embarrassing.
No, alone with my parents, forget
Yeah.
about it. Or like go to a store with my mom. If someone saw me with her, I'd be embarrassed. Why? Of course I'd hang out with my mom. I live with her.
Mom, if you're listening, I love you.
Yeah.
But I think that's natural, though. I mean, they
Yeah.
say, like, biologically, to make you become an adult, you start to, like, want to leave. But it's sad. I know, it's weird.
It's just so weird because it's like, I also feel like if I saw someone else with their parents, I wouldn't think twice because I'd think, well, of course, they're a teenager and they live with their parents.
Yeah.
Like, of course they'd hang out with them. But I was so
I know,
embarrassed.
it would be humiliating.
Yeah.
To be seen with your parents.
It's so fun. I have a twin brother, and we were in the same grade, obviously. And he was embarrassed to talk to me in school for a good while. Like, I would say anything to him in school in the hallway, and he would be so embarrassed. And it's like, we're in the same grade. We're classmates.
I feel like Shannon didn't really talk to me much. I don't know. Shannon, you're definitely not listening. But
He's definitely not.
I don't know. She's younger than me. I would talk to her for sure, but she didn't really seem to care.
Yeah.
Like, she really didn't seek me out in school. I don't know.
It was always fun when you would run into your sibling in the hallway. Like, my older brother, Kevin,
weird.
he was a senior when I was a freshman. And so when I saw him in the hallway, I was always, like, so excited.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
I was never in school with Caitlin. Weird.
What about elementary school now?
Maybe she was in kindergarten when I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this part. Edward goes back into the Let's go to the Carlisles. What's wrong with me? Guys, I didn't sleep good. I didn't sleep well last night, so forgive me. He goes back to his house, and I guess he gets trucks mud in on the floor, and Esme tells him to clean that up. Edward, dear, I can hear you dripping on my floors. Please change into something dry and mop that up. And then he's like, while I was mopping, I thought about the short journey to the baseball clearing tonight. Blah, blah, blah. It's just funny to picture Edward mopping.
Yeah.
And thinking while he's mopping.
Some chores that they're doing.
Yeah, chores. Yeah, see, they do chores.
You said in one episode you like when Carlisle tells the kids what to do. I like when Esme does that too.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a note for 482.
Oh, so do I. You go.
Well, I just have a sticky note, so I don't know why I noted this part, but...
I wonder if it's this. I underlined, he said, and then, though I'd only been intending to overwhelm her, I found myself wholly overcome. He's, like, kissing her. I think he's... I don't know what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Her cheek.
He says, slowly, I leaned down and pressed my lips into the small indentation between her collarbones. Her breath caught and her heart fluttered. Yeah, I think I just probably found it hot.
Right here? Right here?
Yeah. Right
I'm touching my collar. I'm trying to imagine it. They're so funny. And in these Twilight books, they always kiss
the collarbone.
Corner of her mouth. Her jaw.
Yeah, her jaw especially. And it's like, is that supposed to mean something else?
I'm gonna try that out sometime. Mom, stop listening. I'm just kidding.
Does she listen?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, my mom listens to like every one.
Does she really?
Yeah. Every time I talk to her, she's like, I just listened to this one.
Oh, no.
She always says they're too long. And I say, Mom, you don't have to listen. I know, but I want to.
My mom 100% does not listen anymore, thank God. But I'm sure if I say anything salty, your mom would probably tell her, hi, Aunt Karen.
I can't be myself. No, my mom likes that kind of stuff, I think, though. Right, Mom?
Yeah, she definitely does.
She likes it.
Yeah, she does. She finds it funny.
Yeah.
But don't tell my mom stuff.
Has she?
I don't know.
I feel like maybe she
They like to talk about us.
I feel like she has said to your mom, like, oh, Melissa does dating apps or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does your mom know that?
My mom, I don't tell her anything. I
But
tell
does
her
she
nothing.
know that?
My mom does know that, or she alludes to that. She also
Must be from my mom.
yeah.
But we are putting this out
Into
on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so true. Yeah, I mentioned once
Not
dating.
really,
I mentioned once dating a guy in an episode, and my mom had actually happened to listen to that episode, and so we were at dinner, and she goes, "I didn't know that you dated someone who didn't like Ed Sheeran."
Wait, what? Ed Sheeran?
Yeah, because remember I said I was like,
yes,
and because I don't tell my mom anything about my dating life, and she's always like desperate to know things, so.
She just wants to know. No, but I know the nature of it.
Yeah. My mom, she learns something and then she takes advantage, and then you go on her laptop and then the guy's Facebook page is favorited and his whole family's Facebook page is favorited and his cousins are favorited and it's really bad. So had to keep everything a secret.
Poor Mel.
Yeah. Poor you. My mom's done it to you too.
I know.
So.
We're back. I paused it. Ha 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 ha. Okay, anyway, back to the book, right?
Yeah.
Let's get back to the book.
We just had like an hour conversation.
Yeah, we had the longest conversation.
We've done that a few times on the podcast.
Oh,
It's
I wish
nice.
I wish all of you guys could be in the living room with us
I know.
talking about life, but some of it's just too personal
Yeah.
to put out there.
It's fun. I feel like I got way drunker in that time, though.
I think it's such a double-edged sword, I guess you could call it, because
Drinking during a podcast.
I think that it makes our energy pretty good.
Yeah.
But especially in a book episode, hard to know where we are in the book. Like reading it, like, oh, what's going on? Like, but, okay, we're not drunk. We're just like, buzzed,
tipsy. Yeah.
tipsy, just having a sip.
I have to drink some water now.
We're in our 20s. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Yeah, we're adults. We don't even get carded anymore.
I do.
I haven't been lately, and I'm internalizing it quite a bit.
Well, I don't know. I almost feel like these days, COVID, it's like you got to go to at least in Massachusetts, you have to go to a sit-down restaurant type of thing and get food, and it feels very adult. I don't know if a lot of 18-year-olds are doing that.
I don't think they're doing that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If you guys are, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Or 19 or 20-year-olds, but it just seems adult.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
To get food and drinks.
I agree, yeah.
Because usually, if you're underage, you're trying to party.
Yeah, you're not going to a restaurant and ordering a drink with your fake ID.
And ordering a glass of wine.
Yeah, the one time I tried that, it did not go well.
Yeah, it actually went well for me most of the time, until one time it didn't,
Yeah, which is always scary.
I know.
It's the most terrifying thing. But you know what?
It's awkward.
When they threaten to call the police, they don't. So.
Oh, that never happened to me, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, they just said, no, I can't take this.
Oh, no, they said they were going to call the police and take our license away.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and my best friend and I were, crying. We were so scared. They didn't do anything, so.
This was kind of ballsy of me. I was throwing a party, and I had a fake ID. Oh, my gosh. Can you get in trouble for, in the past, admitting a past crime?
I feel like There has to be a statute of limitations on stuff like that, right?
We're acting. This
Yeah.
is a podcast. We're acting. This isn't real. We're acting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was throwing a party, but I wasn't 21 yet, but I had a fake ID. And it used to work very well, but then suddenly it didn't anymore. I think that they improved their scanners or something. I don't know what it was.
And you know what's funny? I actually used Kelly's fake ID as well because we look alike.
Yeah. It said I was from Rhode Island. But anyway, I was supposed to get the alcohol for the party, and I went to like a liquor store, and I got turned away.
Ugh.
Like they scanned it and they were like, no. But they gave it back to me, which is weird. And then I went to another place and I got turned away.
Oh my god.
And then I went to another place. It's crazy that I kept doing
the anxiety every single time I used a fake ID, I was sweating.
It is so scary.
It's so terrifying.
But in the same day, I kept trying and kept getting rejected.
Because when you're in college and you are under 21, you're desperate. Like,
you're desperate.
You're just trying to, like, it's...
Or maybe just we were.
Yeah. It's crazy to think of how much we'd party when it's like, where did we even get our alcohol?
I don't know. A lot of times it was someone's friend that you knew.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they can get us alcohol. Like, text me what you want.
Yeah, and they'd overcharge you.
Yeah. They would. Oh my gosh. Yeah, people would always overcharge.
Yeah.
To all of our... Well, basically, anyone listening from a country that isn't the USA, yeah, it was very hard. Growing up in a country where the drinking age is 21.
Yeah.
Very lame.
I hope this isn't, like, promoting underage drinking in any way.
True.
I mean, to be honest, like, that rule is, like, it's not a moral law. It's just the law of the land for, like, other reasons. So it's just important to drink responsibly, and I honestly think that the law in place right now makes it so you don't drink responsibly because no one teaches you how to when you're underage.
True.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, be safe.
Be safe.
Don't have us as role models. Have Bella.
Yeah. Sorry, Stephanie.
No, Bella's very well behaved.
She is.
She doesn't even, like, care about that kind of stuff.
Do you think some of it has to do with the fact that her dad's a cop?
Maybe. Possibly.
Potentially.
I know. What would Charlie think?
Yeah.
So anyway, back to this book. I wanted to just touch on this four words on page 483. They're kissing, and he says, venom flowed, muscles clenched. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
I like that. I don't have...
But yeah, they're kissing. Oh, this is cute. They're going to see the baseball game. I don't know, she starts walking in some... This is after they run, I think. And he says, you're going the wrong way. And I don't know, she turns around and it's the wrong way again. And he says, don't be mad. I couldn't help myself. You should have seen your face. Another laugh escaped. I tried to... This is not even that interesting. Another laugh escaped. I tried to swallow that one, the one that followed. I don't think I just underlined that because it's cute to me that he's laughing.
I think it's interesting to think about him unable to suppress his laughter.
I know.
Like, he's so powerful, but then the fact that, like, he still cannot control himself.
He acts so in control. In many ways, he really is.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that. You know, I think people, myself included, like that. Like, when someone's really silly all the time or funny, when you see them be serious, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, it can be
it's
kind of
scary.
attractive.
It can be,
And then the reverse is true, too. Like, when someone is pretty composed and serious all the time, when they let loose, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Maybe because it feels a little rare.
Yeah, no.
Fleeting.
Yeah.
Oh, but this part, oh, Edward. Okay, I don't even know. You know, guys, we're like dropping in and out of the text. We can't read every single part, so I'm not really sure why they're talking about this, but he says, I infuriate myself, I told her. The way I can't seem to keep from putting you in danger, my very existence puts you at risk. Sometimes I truly hate myself. I should be stronger. I should be able to. I underlined that part. I truly hate myself because it just makes me sad. I don't like that. I don't like that Edward hates himself.
I was taking note of this one part of Esme's thoughts. So Edward says, well, she hadn't promised nice, and it was large enough concession about Rosalie for her to simply be here. And then Esme thinks, utterly ridiculous. Esme didn't agree with me. She'd been trying to cajole Rose out of her mood all afternoon without much effort, and she was exasperated. It'll be all right once we start, Emmett was thinking. Like me, he was just relieved Rose had come.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like that Esme
Is judging Rosalie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone kind of gives her a pass, and you'd especially expect the mother to be like, oh, Rosalie. But I think it's very real that, and very respectable that Esme's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, just get over it.
Yeah. I thought it was odd on this same page 487. This is when Alice says, it's time. Just like in the movie. But Edward says, it's time, Alice intoned solemnly, working the oracle vibe for Bella's benefit. Vibe? I don't know why that was just a weird description to me. Oracle vibe. And especially Edward, who's so descriptive and formal. I don't know, it just seemed weird to me. Whatever.
Page 488, I sticky noted this part where it says, Carlisle nodded. And he, Alice, and I moved to take our fielding positions. Esme was telling Bella about her first son now, and I was surprised at the intimate direction their conversation had taken. This was Esme's rawest wound, but she was gentle and composed as she spoke. I wondered why she decided to share that. Yeah,
does Stephanie listen to our podcast?
I know. She has to. I mean,
probably not.
Yeah.
But it's weird that she's acknowledging, yeah, that was weird.
That was weird that she just brings that up while they're playing baseball. She's talking about her son that she lost. Just
it is weird.
Not the time.
I know. So they're playing the game. You know, it's great fun. It's very exciting.
There's some bitchiness on Rosalie's part. So, yeah, we talked about this in an earlier episode, but like Rosalie gets hit or whatever, and Bella claps for her.
Oh, yeah.
And then Edward says, Rosalie didn't acknowledge Bella's spontaneous applause. She wouldn't even look at her, instead rolling her eyes at me, but I was surprised to hear that she was ever so slightly softened. I suppose it wasn't that remarkable. I knew how much Rosalie craved admiration. So Rosalie is softening, but it is totally self-centered. I feel like it's not worth giving
Such
her...
a narcissist.
Yeah. It's not worth any credit whatsoever. But then also later down on that page 491, Rosalie thinks, how long will the Google eyes take? The storm won't last forever. It's just really, like, come on.
Like, come on. I know. And then 492, we could all hear Rosalie's teeth grinding.
Ew.
For some reason, I wrote a question mark next to that. It just bothers me. That would drive me insane. I don't even understand how these vampires can live. It's such sensory overload.
Yeah,
How can
hearing
you hear
someone's
teeth
grinding.
Across the field? Across the field.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I feel like even just in a room, that would bother me.
Yeah.
But what? Does that mean you can hear, like, all the little animals
Stuff like that
chewing?
It does make being a vampire sound very unpleasant.
I know. But it's not really explained. Like, can they tune it out well? You know? Because some vampires seem to enjoy being a vampire and think it's something, better than human life. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me, it sounds crazy. Well, anyway, the chapter ends with the strangers arriving. And they're freaking out. Alice gets a vision. Starts to get scary. Edward's like, I'm sorry, Bella. It was stupid, irresponsible to expose you like this. I'm sorry.
I do think it's crazy that he wasn't more careful.
I know, but I don't know. Like, they didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't know.
They didn't know.
When you know better, you do better.
And in this kind of situation, like, how would he know better?
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't. This is his first time dating a human.
So, this is something random. I just felt like, okay, it's only 3 times, but in the next 3 pages, word anxious or anxiety was used 3 times, but it just kind of bothered me.
I see it.
On 498,
I
would have
see
been
it twice.
anxious. On 500, it was strange where a vampire just twitched in anxiety. And then on 501, vibrating with anxiety. Just stuck out to me.
Yeah, that is weird.
I get it, you're anxious, but that's just my little writing critique.
If we were in a workshop with Stephanie.
Yeah. Oh, so bitchy of me. Anyway, chapter 22 is the hunt.
The hunt.
And this is when, things take a turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting intense.
It is intense. So the first thing I noted is that Laurent is attracted to Rosalie.
Yeah.
Which of course is like expected since Rosalie's so beautiful.
It's kind of interesting though.
But yeah, his thoughts are like very direct about it. He's thinking, I wonder if she's mated. They do seem to be in even numbers.
His eyes skipped over the rest of us, then settled on Rose again.
Yeah.
So I guess she
And
is
then
that beautiful.
Still, the leader, Laurent, was sure of the plan. If our covens could get along with each other, then we could get along with his. Everyone would calm down, and they could all play, and he would want to get to know the glowing blonde, ... I thought that was funny. Mm-hmm. And they're all very intimidated by Emmett.
Oh, yeah.
The two males seemed unable to keep their eyes off Emmett for long either. I found myself appraising my brother. He seemed even bigger than usual tonight, and there was something unnerving about his taunt stillness. So Emmett is such a valuable asset to their coven.
Yeah. Don't really realize it until moments like these.
Well, that's kind of like in Breaking Dawn when they walk across to the Volturi and Emmett joins them. It's just because he's so... like big and
my monkey
scary.
man.
My monkey man. I love Emmett.
Yeah, wasn't it last episode? You're like, I feel attracted to Emmett.
I feel like Emmett is my type in a way.
Yeah, type. Mel, go find your Emmett.
I know. I'm my Emmett.
My Emmett.
Anyone listening? It's like Emmett.
Maybe.
Probably not.
So, it was really intense. They're talking to these nomads, and so far they haven't reacted about Bella, which is kind of a miracle, but we kind of find out that's because Jasper's, like, hiding her.
Yeah.
Like, which I also didn't know he could do this.
No, I didn't know he could either.
But he can, like, project emotions. Well, I guess we knew it, but... because he could control people's emotions, but he's making them feel bored.
Yeah.
Whenever they look at him.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like standing in front of Bella, right?
Yeah, and I was shocked by that because I was like, why is Edward being just randomly so rude right now?
I know.
I glanced at him from the corner, staring at Jasper, and found myself so incredibly bored. As if there was nothing else interesting in the world than this nondescript vampire standing docilely to one side of our grouping. And I was like, wait, what?
Nondescript? Docile? Jasper?
I was like, why is this randomly so mean?
I know.
I didn't consider myself that Jasper was projecting that feeling onto him.
This is another one of those things, though, I have to wonder, and I really don't mean it as a criticism or anything, but I wonder if Stephanie Meyer, when she wrote Twilight, knew this.
Yeah.
Or if later on she was like, it is kind of weird that they don't notice Bella until the wind.
Yeah.
Why is that? Oh, maybe because Jasper was doing something.
You do have to wonder because Stephanie didn't, when she was writing Twilight, ever think that she was going to have the chance to... Oh, maybe she did, but I feel like most authors wouldn't think that they could write in a different character's perspective to give that insight. So I feel like you would, if something is like that, you would want to convey it in the initial version of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I know. Maybe she did know this years ago.
This part does show a lot of Jasper's growth. I thought it's really sweet. He says about Jasper, he wouldn't be able to hold it if things got physical, but for now he had Bella encased in a more clever protection than I could ever have imagined.
Aww.
Gratitude swamped me again, which is just very sweet. Since in the beginning of the story, we were like, oh, I don't think I like Jasper, since he wanted to kill Bella. And now he's doing everything he can to protect her.
You are my life now. Jasper feels the same way. I do love Jasper. I mean, yeah, we did see kind of a bad side of him in this beginning of this book, but all in all, I feel like when we read the Twilight books on this show, I felt, I don't know, a lot of compassion for Jasper.
Yeah, I really like him. Although, quickly after...
What, does he do something bad?
Well, it's not that he does something bad, but it seems like things might get physical. So it says, as if he were reading my thoughts, Jasper pulled his concealment back in that second. Okay, all of them were
Wait, why did he do that?
So he did it, let's see. Bella's scent, fresh and immediate, wafted directly into the strangers' faces. All of them were affected, but while Laurent and Victoria were predominantly confused by the delicious smell coming out of nowhere, James shifted instantaneously into hunting mode. Jasper's camouflage wasn't strong enough to deter that kind of focus. There was no point in pretending any longer, as if you were reading my thoughts. Jasper pulled his concealment back in that second, leaving only himself and Alice still hidden. I realized it was better that he do this, that it would only alert these nomads to his extra talents if he tried to keep Bella obscured now. Yet I still felt a weak prick of betrayal.
Well, yeah, he's kind of protecting himself. It's kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't want them to know I have a power.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's protecting Alice as well.
I feel like it sounded like I was faking it, but I genuinely couldn't remember as you were reading the reasons for everything. I was like, what? What? Oh.
No, I believe you.
I wasn't, like, putting on a show to make it sound Yeah, so, now there's a threat. And it's scary. I thought it was interesting that on 506, this whole time, he's talked so much about Bella's translucent skin, her pale white skin, and then is talking about James. He was suspicious of me now, of all of us. Why hadn't he noticed the girl before? She was so obvious, her apricot skin, soft and matte, in contrast with the shine of the rest. Like, oh, now she has apricot skin? I thought it was translucent. Whatever. Weird.
I wrote a note so this is after James says, you brought a snack. That it's kind of interesting how to vampires, a human isn't necessarily always food. Like, they wouldn't think of a pig or no. It's like always food in a way if they're not a vegetarian. But like, if someone brought a pig or like a cow to a baseball game, I wouldn't say like,
you brought a snack.
You brought a snack. Even though I do eat beef and pork,
Yeah. And it is weird that they can interact with
humans. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that occasionally that the nomads do talk to humans, but
Which is weird because they also used to be humans.
I guess it's just not the same. Like, I don't think the animal analogy really works. It's more like if somehow there was amazing chocolate cake showed up.
Yeah.
You would be like, you brought a snack.
Yeah, but at the same time, I wouldn't fight to the death to
eat
it.
I don't think there's anything like that for us.
Yeah.
I almost imagine blood isn't just food, it's like a drug.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Edward says too.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like withdrawal almost.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, can you imagine going on this crazy hunt? Because someone had a really good chocolate cake.
To the ends of the earth. I'll do anything.
It's just so yummy. I need it.
Well, yeah, in some ways they are more animalistic, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
because I think they also don't...
They're a monster.
Yeah, I mean, some of the vampires would not go through that effort. But, like, for James, it's like, you could, if you did want human blood right now, just go kill anybody else in town. Like, you don't need Bella right now. And it's like, I feel
it's
like...
his hobby.
Yeah, and he's obviously a tracker. But, like, we as humans do the same thing. It's like, stuff like that is fleeting. We're not going to be, like, thinking about the cake afterwards for much longer after we smell it.
Yeah. But we definitely, not in the same way, but people do like the chase of things, I think. Like,
they do get obsessed, yeah.
Even in, it's so not as extreme at all, but like, oh, you could just have this to eat. Like, no, I want to go find the best restaurant.
Yeah, true.
I could just have a Bud Light, but I want a craft beer. Like,
That's
I don't know.
true.
I feel like James, it's not even really about her. It's just like it's fun for him.
It's about winning, yeah. Yeah, we all, don't we do that, guys?
Kind of. But definitely not to this
No.
You're right. Like, a human would just let it go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I thought it's kind of interesting here. We are not hearing James's thoughts that much. I don't really understand why. Edward is like very in tune to his body language, but it's like,
yeah. Well, he does. Here's one. It's like, wait until they separate. Use the time for. I don't know how to reconnaissance. Reconnaissance. I don't know.
That's a thesaurus that Stephanie is using for this book.
That looks like a straight up French word. Use the time for reconnaissance. I feel like maybe because his thoughts are just so direct.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So like,
One track.
yeah.
It's maybe not that interesting to tell us.
Well, oh yeah, he says, but his thoughts didn't give it any special feeling for her.
Oh yeah, I underlined that, Mel.
Oh yeah, I did
Good
too.
job.
And
Great minds think alike.
he looks at Alice, and Edward says there was a flicker of surprise as he took in her face for the first time, perhaps wondering why he hadn't thought to appraise her before, but that surprise did not resolve into the words before he turned and dashed after the others. So that's him recognizing Alice, because he was the one who changed her
Yeah.
all those years ago.
And we talked about last time how odd it is that Alice doesn't remember that. If he supposedly was like standing above her or something.
Yeah,
Whatever, we'll get to it.
that is odd.
But anyway, they, flee this situation. And anything more to say about that before we get into like
No.
the chase?
Mm-hmm.
While they're in the Jeep. Are they in the Jeep? Doesn't matter. They're in a car.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't mean to sound flippant about it, but you
guys
we'll be
know.
hunting through the page to figure it out.
Yeah.
Leaving and trying to figure out what to do, and there's a lot of back and forth about should they go back for Charlie, like we have to, and Bella's very concerned about the Cullens, like if we don't go back, he's gonna think, he's a cop, he's gonna think you did something to me, he's gonna call the FBI, whatever. She's very concerned about the Cullens' safety, which obviously Edward thinks is absurd, but I thought it was interesting on 518 at the bottom. He says, Bella, please just do this my way, just this once. I begged, though it didn't sound like pleading when the words came through my clenched teeth. Now, I didn't compare this to Twilight, I should have, but I wonder if that's one of those situations where, like, it doesn't come off the way... There's a lot of this in the book, like, in Edward's head, he means something one way, but it comes out much meaner or harsher or something. He thinks he's begging, but then says it doesn't sound like pleading.
Yeah.
So maybe it sounded more like, just do this my way. Just this once.
Probably, like, Stephanie correcting. Not correcting, but, like, giving...
Yeah, expanding on it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Before that, on page 517, I wrote that, so Edward is looking through Alice's visions of, like, what's going to happen. He says there weren't very many options, maybe 30 solid versions. That is so many versions. What
I
could
know, what the
happen.
hell?
Oh my god.
How many is he used to?
That is too many.
That is a lot.
To be able to keep track of all of those.
I mean, they're freaking lucky in a way.
Yeah.
Imagine having to deal with the situation without someone who can predict the future and
I know,
without
exactly.
someone that can read minds.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
What I don't get, and I wrote this here, technically, James shouldn't even be able to track Bella since she's a shield, right?
Well, she's not really a shield yet.
Yeah.
It
just, her power doesn't make sense. Like, why is he not able to inflict his power on her? Why is Jane not able to inflict her power? And yet, it's like so selective.
I almost feel like James's thing has nothing to do with the other person. I feel like he could track, obsess over whatever anyone he wants to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, he's not really using... I don't even know if he has a power, per se. It's more like a mindset.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know if he's so good at anything. He's just obsessive and loves
He just can't
hunt.
quit, yeah. It's
Yeah.
almost like his downfall in a way.
But it's not like he's inflicting anything on Bella.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, he's just annoying.
I thought it was funny that they're first like escaping in the truck, and no.
Oh, yeah.
So Bella says, she makes a comment about like, we can't all fit in my truck, and Edward thinks as if we were going to make our escape in that geriatric sloth. I said nothing though, knowing how sensitive she was about her truck. I didn't have the energy for a pointless argument. Why is Bella thinking that they're going to escape in the truck at this moment?
She's just, you know, a little naive. I don't really get why. I mean, I guess because she knows the area so well and she thinks it's so obvious, but I don't know if Phoenix was the best decision.
I agree with you because
Could have picked at least another city in Arizona or something. Something slightly random.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. Just
You
somewhere
would have never
random.
come here.
Yeah.
Like,
Massachusetts. Just throw us. Put us in the book.
yeah.
What do you mean she hasn't mentioned Massachusetts? It's weird.
I know.
I'm insulted.
Well, they do mention a sock scheme at one point, but it's
Oh, yeah,
not clear
yeah,
if it's the
that's
Red
true,
Sox
that's
or the
true.
White Sox.
I know. You're right.
I don't know if people in Chicago say the Sox when they mean the White Sox,
Maybe.
but we here in Massachusetts say the Sox.
Love the socks.
Yeah, love the Sox. No, but like her whole argument of like it's so obvious he will never guess it. I think he does guess it. Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you know better, you do better.
Yeah, exactly.
But as Oprah says, but
What do you guys think?
it's a little risky.
It is risky.
You know, I feel like their options were like staying. No, I guess they were never gonna do that. What else? Where else would they go? Somewhere totally remote? I don't know. I feel like they would have had better chances going anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah, I agree. And like I feel like the whole issue with her
The
mom
whole
wouldn't have
world.
happened.
They had literally the whole world to choose from.
Yeah, they could have gone to
Russia,
yeah,
Indonesia,
yeah,
Maine,
Antarctica,
Bolivia, anywhere.
anywhere at all.
Anywhere.
New Zealand.
We'll just shout out places. A random town in Finland.
Yeah.
A random town anywhere. But no, they had to go to where she's from.
Yeah, where her scent like probably already is in some ways. The next chapter is chapter 23.
Goodbyes.
Goodbyes.
Do you think a chapter title like this is supposed to make us feel nervous? Like, oh my god, did somebody die?
Maybe. I'm looking at the word goodbyes so much right now that like it looks like it's not a real word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looks like
It does look strange.
German word or something.
Yeah. It looks so odd.
I thought so, you know, they do the whole plan where they're having Bella look like she is fighting with Carlisle.
My mouth just fell open. Fighting with Carlisle.
Fighting with Charlie so they can convince Charlie that she's leaving and stuff like that.
Carlisle.
Carlisle.
That could have been their kid.
You know, it would have been a better name than Renesmee.
Yeah.
But do they really need to pack, or is that all for show? Because it's like,
I think it's just for show.
okay, I was gonna say, and it's such an emergency like this. Like, does it really matter if Bella has like clean underwear and stuff? And
Yeah, I think it's just for show.
the right amount of clothes.
I thought it was interesting. They're deciding whether they should, you know, run off or just like protect Bella in town or whatever. But he says, as I considered this, Alice saw how the tracker would wait, how he would adapt, how he would, after the boredom set in, begin a war of attrition, Bella's friends disappearing in the night, favorite teachers, Charlie's co-workers, random humans who had no connection to her. It's really sick. Like, James would just start killing all these people, just waiting for them to, like, give up. Which Bella obviously would.
Yeah.
She would hate it if people were dying, quote, because of her. Crazy.
Crazy.
We did not know that.
My heart is breaking during the section when Bella's talking to Charlie. And Edward says,
horrible.
the words seemed simple enough, but... So this is after Bella says, I really, really hate forts.
I know.
And Edward says, the words seemed simple enough, but crushing anguish speared Charlie through where he stood. His mind swirled almost like vertigo. In his thoughts was another face, so much like Bella's and also tear-stained. But this woman's eyes were pale blue. Obviously, Renee.
I drew a sad face in my book.
Me too. I drew a broken heart. It seemed Bella had scripted these words with care. Charlie stood stunned and splintering as Bella ran awkwardly across a small lawn.
Ran awkwardly.
The heavy duffel compromising her balance.
It's so sad.
Oh my gosh. Break my
could really
heart, why
picture
don't
that,
you?
you
I
know?
could too. My dad loves Charlie. I have a special recording for you guys someday. In
When
the
are we
future.
going to hear that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we could share it now if I wanted to.
Should we?
Maybe.
Is now a good time?
Maybe. I don't know.
When did you think would be a good time?
I don't know. It also includes a lot of like my mom talking about Suki Waterhouse, which is kind of interesting, kind of problematic. We'll do a different time. Time.
Okay. So yeah, it's very sad, but Bella runs out and she's crying.
When they're in the car, it's so sweet. The like way that Emmett is acting as a bodyguard. Again, it just makes me so attracted to Emmett.
Yeah.
'Cause I was surprised that Emmett was running in the road close behind us. Oh no, not in the car. Outside the car. Emmett was running in the car close behind us now. I was surprised at his intentions. I would have expected he'd be itching to catch the tracker in pursuit to bring the ordeal to a quick and violent end. Instead, his thoughts were focused on Bella. His few moments as a bodyguard seemed to have affected him deeply. Her safety was his current priority.
Oh.
Bella brought out everyone's protective side. Very sweet.
That is sweet. It's interesting. He's thinking about they could have just fought them. Yeah, he said, I'd seen enough of his memories to believe that Jasper could probably have handled all three. Not that Emmett would have let him. And if we were a normal coven, though we would never be considered normal at our size, we probably would have attacked just for the insult. But we weren't normal. We were civilized. We tried to live to a higher standard, a gentler, more peaceable. Did not know that was a word. More peaceable standard because of our father, because of Carlisle. Tonight we had hesitated. We had chosen the more humane route because that was our habit, our way of life. Did that make us ... weaker? I flinched at the thought, but then immediately decided that our choice was still the right one, even if it did make us weak. I could feel that. It resonated deeply in my mind, my being, or my soul, if such a thing existed. It is interesting. It's like, yeah, it would have... I don't know. It is a little bit slightly counterproductive because they are going to kill James, Victoria, and the wolves are going to kill Laurent anyway.
Yeah.
So they could have just done it right then and there.
I know.
But they didn't.
It would have been so much easier if they did.
Yeah. I guess we'd have no series.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly think a lot of this is kind of Carlisle's fault. Or it's just because of Carlisle tonight we hesitated. They should have just done it.
They would have won.
Yeah, they would have. Like, the nomads are so outnumbered.
Yeah.
And they have all these powers.
It's kind of silly.
Yeah.
They have Emmett, who's strong AF. They have Jasper, who's like general.
Yeah, exactly.
Fought in the newborn armies.
Have-
he would not take him out.
Edward can read their mind.
Yeah,
Alice can predict their every move. Rosalie is just, like, very fierce. And then
fierce.
Esme and Carlisle are, like...
They can just stand there.
They can just stand there and be feisty when they need to be. So it's like... The nomads never stood a chance if they just fought right there in the clearing. It would have horrified Bella for sure.
That actually would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, we're like, real.
But we'd have less of a plot for New Moon and Eclipse.
Yeah, exactly. There's
So
just
no.
the other stories are stretching out this plot so much.
Yeah.
Not really New Moon in a way. I mean, Laurent shows up, but he doesn't
Yeah.
have to.
I know. Victoria is a New Moon.
She is a New Moon, yeah. But she's a looming threat.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that she's there. And Laurent, I feel like, shows up just to warn about Victoria in a way. For us as the
You know,
readers.
when you know better, you do better.
Yeah, exactly. Third time we've said that.
I do think it's hard for Carlisle. Like, he's so peaceful. I don't think he wants to fight. But, you know, later on, he does.
He does.
He does fight.
When he has no choice. Yeah.
You give me no choice. What if what if Carlisle yelled at his family? Give me no choice.
Carlisle has to have some moments where he loses his composure.
I want it.
I mean,
Yeah,
one's
that's the thing
perfect.
is, like, we don't get that release.
Yeah.
He's, like, too perfect all the time.
Yeah. Maybe when him and Esme are alone, they
I'm sure
fight
there's
like crazy.
fan fiction out there.
Yup, I bet.
But yeah, are we ever gonna do more fan fiction?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I have more
Maybe
of
someday.
me loving Emmett in the book.
Do it.
535 is sweet, or it says, it did feel safe in a strange way to see Emmett, massive and indestructible, cradling Bella in his colossal arms. She was barely visible behind them. Very sweet.
What a guy.
Oh my gosh.
What?
But then his girlfriend, Rosalie, on page 539, so horrible. So,
Because she is.
yeah. Edward wants him to trade clothes, and Rosalie thinks, don't you see what she's done to us? She's ruined everything, and you want me to protect her? Like, shut up, Rosalie. Read the room. Like, don't you see how stressed everyone is right now?
Rosalie.
Like,
Bella is Edward's mate. She's part of the family.
and she says,
But really,
she spit the rest of her answer aloud, resolved that Bella would hear it too. Why should I? What is she to me? Except a menace, a danger you've chosen to inflict on all of us, which is, we
So
see this
wrong.
in Twilight. It's just evil. Like,
it's so, I don't know, she really wouldn't feel this way if Bella was a vampire and was Edward's vampire love. She really looks down on humans, you know? She thinks she's better. She thinks she's smarter than Bella. Like, oh, you're an idiot. I would choose something different from you. You
Yeah.
don't know anything. It's like, who are you to say that Bella doesn't know what she wants? Fuck you.
I guess at the same time, it's like, it's complicated because Rosalie also has one of the cleanest track records besides killing Royce and his buddies.
That's true.
Like, she hasn't
His buddy.
killed as many humans, even though she is, like, very spiteful and mean. Whereas Emmett is very, very nice, but does forgive himself for the, like, slip-ups he had.
It's so interesting.
To him, it's, like, no big deal. And he's like, well, it happens. And Jasper, of course, has killed people, too. And so it's, like, the vampires who are nicer also have murdered more, have a bigger body count.
I wonder if Rosalie, maybe she does have respect for human life. Maybe she does. But I wonder if part of the reason she's been so clean is like competition or like trying to stick it to her family.
I think so, probably.
Especially Edward. She kind of has like a rivalry with Edward, I think. Not really rivalry, but like she's competitive with him.
She is, yeah.
She's mean
Yeah.
to him. I don't know. I think she wants to be better.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe she does actually want to be a good person, but it just isn't apparent to me.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool in 538, just right before, he's talking about Laurent, and I don't know, we just get a little bit of background on him. Like, Edward says, though this was not a palace, meaning the Cullens' house, though this was not a palace, and he'd lived in several, there was an atmosphere of permanence and sanctuary here that he'd not felt in centuries. And Edward says, I felt a strange kind of yearning from the dark-haired vampire toward my father, a sense of respect and a desire to belong. But he quashed that emotion before it could take root, and then he was racing out the door with no intention of slowing until he was safely in the ocean. Well, that escalated quickly. What? Wait, he's in the Collins house and then he's in the ocean.
Wait. A sense of respect and desire. Luckily, he was watching motion before it could take root, and then he was racing out the door with no intention of slowing until he was safely.
Until he was safely in the ocean.
Okay,
So
yeah.
he's not there yet. But it's a little sad because you can see that Laurent, like, he has this desire to belong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think Laurent could have become a really good guy
I
if
think
he
so
got the
too.
chance.
Well, it's kind of like when you start college, for instance, and you
Mhm.
like meet a group of people. There's just like sometimes like in the beginning you're like, oh, is this my people? I don't really
Yeah.
know, but it's the first people I'm hanging out with.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what it is for Laurent when he becomes a vampire. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, these are the two I connected with, and he's also a third wheel.
Yeah. He just so happened to get sucked into this group. He
Yeah.
doesn't really belong.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sad he doesn't get the chance to. Well,
Then
I
he
don't
does
know.
go to the Denali clan, but I feel like at that point he's kind of spent too much time on the other side that he just can't really acclimate as well as he could have if he started out that way.
Yeah.
The way the Cullens had an advantage.
I mean, he fucked up. He shouldn't have, like, threatened Bella, whatever.
Yeah. He that's a
That's it.
huge mistake.
Yeah. He ruined his fate in
He
that
did.
moment. Mm-hmm. They're, getting in position, taking bags, cars, plans, kisses Bella, I believe.
And then we have that line, we've heard that line before where Edward says, could a dead heart beat? Felt like mine was, could it, whatever. And so he says, could a dead heart break at this point, which is just very sad. I feel like I could really feel the emotion here. And he says, I was at her side, my arms tight around her, pulling her off the ground. Her warmth in my arms was quicksand, and I wanted to drown in it, to never pull free. I kissed her once, worried that the plans would all crumble into chaos if I couldn't make myself step away from her. Part of me didn't care if every human life in Forks and La Push in Seattle were sacrificed to keep her by my side. Oh, it's just so heartbreaking. Oh my gosh.
It is. But yeah, so they separate. She's going with Alice and Jasper, and
he's on his way with Carlisle and Emmett, and then Esme and Rosalie are guarding Charlie.
right? Mm-hmm.
Rosalie doesn't want to help, but she agrees to stay with Esme, so she's not doing it to help Edward or Bella. She's doing it to help Esme.
Mm-hmm. She's doing kind of the easiest job.
Yeah.
But, it's a job that needs to be done. That's true.
Yeah.
And the chapter ends with Edward saying, I had a job to do.
Mm-hmm. Do your job.
End of the episode. If that was a TV show.
I think we can do one more chapter. What do you think?
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay.
Why the heck not, right? Okay, last chapter, guys.
Chapter 24, Ambush.
Ambush. Sounds dramatic. I wonder what's going to happen. So, yeah, this is actually interesting. At this point, this is totally Midnight Sun independent, Because in this part of the book, we have Bella off with Alice and Jasper. This is new.
Yeah, that's so true. I thought it was kind of, well, I don't remember if this is Twilight, but they kind of make Bella seem like a baby where
Yeah.
Edward is saying to Carlisle and Bella needs to eat at least 3 times every 24 hours. Every 24-hour period, and hydration is important.
Yeah.
She should have water on hand, ideally 8 hours of sleep. They just don't know what to do with this human.
I know. I thought it was so weird. She's texting. Alice is texting back, and she only texts back the letter Y.
As in, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
I don't
confusing
really
for me at
Get
first.
it.
I don't necessarily get it because I think she's obviously doing it to be, inconspicuous.
Yeah. trying to be discreet.
But it's not like James is going to necessarily read their text messages.
Well, I thought maybe she didn't want Bella to see too.
Oh, maybe.
Because he says, okay, yeah, she only texted back the letter Y in acknowledgement. I took that to mean that Bella was still awake and Alice intended to keep my instructions to herself. She must see an unpleasant reckoning if she ignored me.
Well, back then it was also hard to text. You had to do that, like...
Yeah. That's true. Pressing it many times. But they're vampires. They can do anything really fast, so...
I think she's just trying to be secretive.
So, yeah, they're running around trying to distract James. They're on to Calgary, which is really far. Banff National Park. Really cool. Surrounded by trees again. It looks quite similar to home, but drier. I thought that was cool.
I had a question.
Okay.
So, Edward's running, and he says, we all three threw ourselves out of the speeding Jeep. I landed on the balls of my feet, and I was sprinting toward the sound of the tracker's thoughts. Something like that sounds really painful. Do you think that vampires can feel physical pain? Especially when they're, like, fighting and stuff?
I don't know. I think they can. But
rarely do.
It seems like in this situation, I don't think it did bother him.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
It's weird that they had to do human stuff, too. Like, they had to stop for gas.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, they're just running all over the place. And it gets kind of insane. Like, they end up running around probably thousands of miles for a really long time. Yeah, minutes passed and hours. Endless night wore on. He changed direction, he being James, a dozen times. He moved predominantly west. They're just chasing him around like crazy. And Alice is texting. Yeah, it is so weird that she's being so minimal with her texts, but we each decided the directions we would search at the base, but not Alex, oh my God. But Alice just kept texting N. Her view of the tracker was so limited she could only see how he reached to his trail. So, yeah, she's saying that instead of no, but...
And when she's texting people's names, she'll either say C or M or Ed.
She texted.
Maybe that's just her texting language, though. Yeah. Some people are just, like...
Yeah.
Very much a minimal texter.
Maybe.
I thought that the whole thing about Charlie is very scary. Like, I feel like the risk that Charlie could have died is quite great, actually. Well, not really. So he says, Carlisle called Esme and they spoke while we ran. She had no real news. She was mostly worried about us. The redhead was still in the area, but she wouldn't come within 5 miles of Esme and Rosalie. Rosalie had done some scouting, and it appeared the redhead had gone to the high school in the night and through most of the public buildings in town. She hadn't gone north toward our house, and she'd only gone as far south as the municipal, I always struggle with that word, municipal airstrip, but she seemed to be hiding herself to the east, maybe keeping close to Seattle for a bigger hunting ground. She'd tried at Charlie's house one time, but not until he left for work. Esme had never been more than a few yards from Charlie throughout, which was impressive since he had no idea where she was. So it's like, they're not really, okay, I guess I retract what I said. They don't come that close to killing Charlie, but, like, I feel like it's crazy that they didn't kill one of the humans in town. I also feel like they should have. Like, I feel like the stakes would have been a lot higher if all of a sudden
it is kind of crazy.
Angela Weber was killed randomly.
I wonder why Victoria didn't kill anybody.
Well, she's going through all the public towns and the public buildings in town.
It's a private town.
I can't speak.
Yeah. I love that he says, I swept the familiar Olympic Park. Yeah!
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful place. I really want to go back so badly. But that is scary, Mel. Like, there was seriously a vampire at Charlie's house.
It's terrifying.
They're really lucky. So then Alice calls and says he's coming here. He's coming to Phoenix. If he's not already here, I saw the second room again and Bella recognized the sketch. It's her mother's house. Edward, he's coming after Renee. He can't know we're here, but I don't like Bella so close to him. He's too slippery. I can't see him. Yeah, and so Edward's dizzy, dazed, though I knew it was an illusion. There's nothing wrong with my mind or body. You know, he's freaking out. And they say, gotta get on a plane.
Yeah, so they notice that he has a private airstrip. Which is interesting because I always wondered how he flew to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Is he driving himself or flying himself?
Maybe.
He must be.
It's funny because when we went to Forks, I did see, maybe you remember, there was like a little airstrip there.
Oh, I don't remember.
Near that bar we went to, Blakesley's. There was like a field next to it, and it was like a little... I don't think that's where he's flying out of, but I think they mentioned that like she ran around the municipal airstrip or whatever.
I think it's funny that they're soaking wet and they're running around and it's like cold outside too.
I know. It does suck that they have to get to the airport and go through security.
I know.
The whole thing. Like, it's so slow. And so the chapter ends. I started running, dialing Carlisle as I sprinted for Seattle. They'd have to catch up to me. Well, should we end there?
Yeah, well, I had a few more things to say for this chapter.
Oh, what?
Oh, well, I was just saying, I feel like this is a moot point, but Rosalie's still being bitchy at the end of this chapter, which is just crazy to me. Like, that she...
I know.
Is being this way, that she's still having bitter thoughts about how selfishly he says, about how selfishly I was putting everyone's lives in danger. I paid no attention to her. And I think it's really sad, too, that they're watching Charlie, and he says his thoughts were totally silent, as though he had gone numb. I winced, glad Bella didn't have to see this, which really breaks my heart. And
sad.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had, actually.
Cool. Well, yeah. They'd have to catch up to me. Edward is running off.
This is whether by design or by luck, he was about to be in the same place as Bella while I was 1,500 miles away from her. So sad. Don't hurt her.
Don't hurt her. We don't have much left of the book.
We don't.
It's crazy. So next time will be the end.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
The end of the podcast.
No. The end of our Midnight Sun episodes, though, which is crazy. Unless it takes us, like,
I can't...
so long to cover.
I still can't believe Midnight Sun came out.
I can't... Yeah.
It's crazy.
Whenever anyone asks me, like, what good thing did 2020 have? This is kind of, like, the one thing I say. Like, well, there was a new Twilight book.
And Phoebe Bridgers' album.
Oh, true. True. Anything else?
Lana Del Rey poetry. I have had some nice moments despite everything, but that's just me personally. Yeah,
me too. But this year has, for the most part, really sucked.
It has. Horrible.
It has, but
it does make the nicer moments even more special.
I agree. Like, I feel like I find myself really appreciating the very simple things that I used to take for granted.
Yeah, we didn't know that we had it all.
Yeah. What we would give to go back to life how it used to be, huh?
But thank you guys so much for listening and making our year even brighter.
Yes.
And
the last 2 years really fun.
Yeah, the last 2 years. It's insane. It's been such a journey.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've said it many times, but it's just crazy. It's been a crazy experience.
It means a lot to us, you know. We didn't know. Well, I feel like I say this too much. Yeah. I'll save you guys.
Basically, we love you guys.
We love you guys.
We gotta play and catch.
Yeah, we gotta play and catch. And I hope you have a good week. And we'll see you guys next time for one final Midnight Sun episode. And then we'll be moving on to a different topic. So if you guys want to message us any ideas that you have, we have many ideas up our sleeve as well.
We do.
But
maybe you're like, oh, once they're done with Midnight Sun, I hope they do this. I don't know.
Yeah, shoot it our way. Oh, also, we should say that.
Yes. We've been meaning to say this.
We have been meaning to say that we love when you guys message us, but we are so sorry that we can't respond to, like, everything.
Yeah, we're sorry. It sounded so weird. But email is probably the best way if you, like, really, you know, have something to share. We can take a little while sometimes, but so far, I think we try to get back to everybody. Like, it does take a while sometimes. I'm very sorry about that, but email is, like, the best way. So
yeah, even on Instagram, like, I feel like we eventually will see everything, but it gets kind of hard sometimes with if someone likes a
Yeah.
message, it's so easy.
Just the way it's formatted is very hard.
Instagram is confusing.
Yeah.
I wish you could filter it in a different way. But it can be hard to see everything.
But yeah, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
We just wanted to let you know.
Yeah. But we love you guys and we love hearing from you, so don't stop. But yes, email is definitely the best way.
And you'll hear it in a second. Another by Twilight at gmail.com. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Good night, son. Forever. You can contact us at anotherbiteoftwilight@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at anotherbiteoftwilight. Theme music is by Traces. See you next time!